Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas here at the Little Creek Casino Resort for Friday Night Fights, brought to you by Corona Extras. We are ready for our main event and the tail of the tape for Oscar Gonzalez and Rico Ramos. This fight contracted at 125 pounds. Ramos came in at a half a pound over. You see the reach advantage for Gonzalez by just a couple of inches. He's 2 inches taller. 21-2 is the recent world titleist Rico Ramos. And there is Rico, former WBA super bantamweight titleist. He won that title in July of 2011. Began his career 20-0, had amateur success. This fight came on less than a month's notice. And here's how he won the WBA title. We take you back to July 9th, 2011 against Aki Shimoda in Atlantic City. He was in the 7th round when he landed that big left hand. Now, Shimoda struggled to get up. He was ahead on the scorecards, 60-54 on one scorecard and 2 at 59-55. And that's how Ramos pulled it out. But since then, you see 1 and 2 against high-quality opponents. In fact, he would try to defend the title first time out against Rigondeaux, and he was KO'd by the Cuban in 6 rounds in January of 2012. And tonight he stands opposite Oscar Gonzalez, 22-year-old Mexican, 5'7", 124.5, 17-2. And the fighter facts of Gonzalez are brought to you by the U.S. Marine Corps. Like many from his native area, he turned pro young. He won 19 straight, and then last time out, he lost his last fight out. And Eric Morales has long backed him throughout his career. The future Hall of Famer has played a role in Gonzalez's life, who recently, by the way, Gonzalez was on a tournament-style show that was broadcast throughout Latin America, similar to what we had with the Contender, and he won that in 2011. It was the WBC Champions Challenge down in Mexico City. No dinner for the crew from the lake.
Champion of the world out of Watts, California, ladies and gentlemen, here is Rico Suavecito Ramos.
Rico Suavecito Ramos, who has had criticism of being too tentative.
Like professional fighters, fight with honor. Let's get it on. Good luck.
Will look to break from recent form tonight. Scheduled for 10 with Bobby Howard as the referee. Gonzalez and Ramos.
Ramos, who was the former WBA junior featherweight world champion for about 5 minutes, not long, but actually 6 months. Was knocked out in his first defense, but he's the favorite in tonight's fight because of that background of having been a world champion. Also has fought the better competition than Gonzalez, so that's why a lot of people think Ramos will win tonight. I think it's going to be a very interesting fight, and I think he can have his hands full with Gonzalez. No doubt that Ramos is the quicker guy, quicker feet, quicker hands, but I think Gonzalez is going to maybe put some water in his boat. We'll see. I think Gonzalez needs to go to that body. Some of my spies tell me, first of all, Ramos did come in a half a pound heavy, and he said he couldn't lose the weight. Now that sounds funny, only a half a pound. They said he couldn't lose the weight in the time allocated to him. So they made a financial deal with Gonzalez's people and exchanged money, gave money to Gonzalez just not to lose half a pound. But my spies tell me that Ramos was in the sauna yesterday morning.
Your spies are everywhere.
Yeah, I do have spies around. He was in the sauna and the steam room yesterday morning for quite some time.
So that means he got down to 125.
See, that's it. See, forget about that half. Means we don't know how much he had to lose to get to within a half a pound. That's why he couldn't lose anymore. He might have lost 5 pounds, 6 pounds, 7 pounds, maybe 3 pounds. But his camp thought it would be dangerous for him to have a chance to win the fight if he lost any more weight. So, to me, if this fight goes long and it's a quick pace, that's where you might see Ramos wilt a little bit. Not early. It would be late. We'll see. Could be something to look for. Right now, still Ramos, the quicker feet, the quicker hands, and he's using those feet to try to keep Gonzalez from being set.
Rico Ramos has already had some success with the left hand in this first round against Oscar Gonzalez. Once again, you can join in with live scoring. Score along with Teddy Atlas all night long. Go to the Friday Night Fight Facebook page. You can click on the live scoring and join in at the end of each round. You can join in at any point. We'll update that as the evening progresses.
You know, I talked about right-hand counters for Ramos about 30 seconds ago. There was a good right-hand counter by Ramos over the left hand of Gonzalez.
Just like he did.
Ramos is very comfortable looking for that punch and looking for it either by slipping the jab or throwing the right hand over the jab. In other words, look for more right hands tonight from Ramos. There's those feet of Ramos playing a little defense for him, keeping Gonzalez reaching a little. Good body shot by Gonzalez.
Defensive mind, okay? Follow your side, set him up, drop to the body.
That's brought to you by the United States
Stay
Marine
on the
Corps.
Go up under there. Right? Start it off with a jab. 1-2. Right? Step to the left, hook to the body, hook to the head. All right?
Take a deep breath.
Work your numbers, baby. All right, let's have some fun.
Rico Ramos fights righty, natural lefty. Trying to bounce back from not just losing the title in 2012, his most recent fight. 10-round unanimous decision against Ronnie Rios.
Gonzalez is on the road here. This is only his second time fighting Joe in the United States out of 22 fights. The other one was his last fight, which he lost. All the others have been in Mexico, so Gonzalez 0-1 in the U.S. so far. And obviously, we would like to even that up tonight.
Break. Watch that holding, guys.
You know, the camp of Gonzalez say that he has about 10 additional fights at the beginning of his career that are not recorded on his record.
It's not uncommon with, you and I have experienced this through the years of the thousands of fights that we've broadcast together. When you get guys from certain regions of Mexico, he's from Veracruz and Nayarit, where the local commissions will not record some of the results. And in fact, even in that tournament that I described earlier when he was fighting some 5-round fights, some of those were not marked down as official results. So he has more experience than the 17-2 record that we know and go with officially.
But still has not been in with the caliber of fighters of Ramos. And that's the big advantage for Ramos, and confidence knowing that he belongs at that level, or he has belonged at that level. Ramos has lost 2 of his last 3, so not the most confident way to come into a big match.
Of course, had the belt strapped around his waist back in 2011 before losing to Rigondeaux.
Ramos doesn't make the best fights. I mean, you know, sometimes his style can be less than scintillating.
Lateral movement.
You said it well. He can be tentative. He uses his legs, uses his quickness, doesn't usually look to press or engage. That's why I made the golf analogy. Said he'll be looking to sink some putts, while it looks like Gonzalez will be looking for those woods and irons, seeing if he can tee off a little bit. The problem for Gonzalez is he's just chasing Ramos, you know, following him around, but he's not stabilizing. He should be using that long jab, Gonzalez, to stabilize Ramos on the outside. Even if he jabs to the body, that's okay. Even if he jabs to the chest, just use that jab to control Ramos in the center of the ring and not let Ramos pick his spots to come in and out. Gonzalez uses that jab the way I'm talking about it. This will be an interesting fight. If he doesn't, it'll be a boring fight all night long.
5 seconds. Finish at the bell. Be clean.
Here in the Pacific Northwest, and former Washington Huskies star quarterback Brock Heward, who of course is an ESPN college football analyst, sitting ringside tonight for Friday Night Fights. Got a nice reception before we went on the air earlier tonight. Brock Heward, who's a local sports radio personality here in the Pacific Northwest, very popular, as we're at the Little Creek Casino Resort in Shelton, Washington. Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas ringside. Round 3 scheduled for 10. Releasing titleist Rico Ramos and Oscar Gonzalez.
The people couldn't be nicer to us here. Mike Starr, the CEO of the casino that you just talked about here, they just couldn't be nicer to us. They really couldn't.
Teddy, in all the years we've been on the road,
it's really a pleasure being here.
What wonderful, wonderful hosts they are, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. And it truly is God's country, as people like to say when you get out here. It's just nothing but just beautiful scenics, one after another.
Fight out of it. Let go. Let go. Let go of that arm.
Good fight, fans.
Box out of it, guys.
Some decent action.
Good wrestling. There you go.
Tonight, we'll see if that can be the case here in our main event.
Again, it's going to be boring. It's going to be Ramos going in and out, using his quicker feet, his quicker hands. If he's not controlled in the center of the ring, he needs to be controlled by that jab. That means you need to have good trainers
No spinning, no spinning,
telling
no spinning.
their charge, in this case Gonzalez, don't just look for the one shot. Use the jab to stabilize him and bang that body and start to take some air out of the tires of Ramos. Slow him down a little bit. Discourage him a little bit. Take the confidence away a little bit. This is a better round for Gonzalez.
Well, he's got that left hand to the body and then placed the right hand to the body of Ramos as well. And now he presses the action just a little bit as things pick up here in the midst of round 3.
Yeah, good round for Gonzalez.
Let go of the arm. Let go of the arm.
Nothing fancy. Just
Stop.
getting, as you said,
Break.
those hands moving.
You gotta quit holding that arm.
Closing that gap a little.
Warning.
See, if there's a gap all night long, and he's allowed to stay at that gap, well, Ramos is going to be okay. But if there's a jab coming at him, where he can't do that, come as he wants, go as he wishes, then Gonzalez, as I said earlier, has a chance to upset the apple cart. I don't see consistency from Gonzalez.
Not at all.
Good early part of the round, but then going to sleep a little bit.
He's got an on-off switch.
We were watching NASCAR earlier. I was watching it in the room earlier, and it looks like every once in a while Gonzalez goes into the pit roll a little bit.
Right.
Break.
Just stalls out.
When I say break, you gotta break, guys. Okay, come on.
Had one moment of hitting the accelerator in the midst of round number 3, and then came off it. We'll take a short break and come back with more of Gonzalez and Ramos. Stay with us.
Come on, guys. Box out of it. Stop. That's it.
Glad you're with us here for Friday Night Fights at the Little Creek Casino Resort. Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas. Teddy Atlas, who has predicted an upset in tomorrow's big fight, saying Nonito Donaire will not get past Guillermo Rigondeaux. We will see what happens tomorrow. And I thought you gave a really good explanation, Teddy, in breaking down that fight, as you always do, justifying your position. As you said earlier, you said to me earlier today, it's a safe prediction. It's where everybody's gravitating towards to say Nonito Donaire will just
Watch
take
your heads, guys.
Yeah, he may, because, you know, styles do make fights sometimes, and the style of Donaire can give, as I said in the breakdown, Rigondeaux problems if he stays on the outside. I don't think he'll stay on the outside the whole time. I think that he's got a lot of heart, a lot of fighter's heart, a lot of pride, and I think Donaire will engage him, and that'll be a mistake, because Rigondeaux knows how to do 3 things really well. He knows how to win. He's always known how to win. He's a great amateur since he was a kid. And he knows how to body punch, and he's a tremendous counterpuncher.
Ramos and Gonzalez here.
Box out,
round
box
number 4.
out.
Teddy's scorecard the first 3 rounds. 2 rounds to 1 for Ramos. Gonzalez had his best work in the midst of round number 3. Had a sustained attack to the body and then kind of fell asleep at the wheel in the final minute there.
Again, if there's no jabs from Gonzalez, there's going to be no win
No luce.
for
No
Gonzalez.
Get out of there. Let go of that arm.
I just wonder what his people. This is where you need a good corner.
No luce. Watch your hold.
Telling him,
Both of you.
look, we know you think you can land the big shot. You're thinking maybe you're a little stronger than Ramos, but you're not going to land that shot if you don't use the jab to control him, to slow him down, to stabilize him.
So the viewers at home have it the exact same way Teddy does. You can vote on Facebook. Always feel free to join in each week on Friday Night Fights and score along.
Yeah, feel free, guys. Feel free. Come on. The more the merrier. Both these fighters turned pro young. Ramos at 20, but Gonzalez, very young. Turned pro in Mexico, where you're allowed to turn pro a little younger. Turned pro at 16.
Break.
Gonzalez.
Not uncommon down
Don't go
there.
so
No,
low.
not at all.
You watch it leading.
Stateside, we don't hear that.
Fight with
You
honor.
know, I want to say that Ramos hasn't happened yet, but Ramos has been involved in head clashes. He's been cut over both eyes by a little bit of the noggins coming together in fights. So Ramos, every once in a while, when he comes in, because he'll come in from far away, and they get a little top heavy, and sometimes those heads come together.
Bell.
See the way
Finish at the
Ramos
bell.
leans forward with that head?
Stop.
It's Rico Ramos, who told us yesterday, he said, you know, I need a few rounds to get warmed up. I usually have to get hit before
Release that
I
corner a little
start
bit.
up. I mean, that's how he
Get
won
that
the
corner a
title. As he was getting hit consistently, was down on the scorecards before he landed one powerful took and scored a knockout victory to take the WBA belt back in July of 2011. Gave way with that belt, losing in his first title defense in January 2012, and now looking to straighten out the middle of his career as a 25-year-old with 21 wins, facing Oscar Gonzalez here. Round number 5 scheduled for 10.
Talked about Gonzalez. All except for one fight have been in Mexico, so hasn't traveled too well. The one fight in the U.S. he lost. He's 0-1. For Ramos, no problems in that category.
Stop.
Most of his fights have been on the West Coast.
Step back. Step back.
And we are on the West Coast.
Just on the other side of the sound from the Seattle Tacoma area here in Shelton, Washington.
See, there's the leading in. That's where the head clash is
Let
coming.
go,
You
let
see
go,
that, Joe?
let go. Box out
You
of it,
know,
guys.
Ramos gets a
Get your
little out of
hands free.
control.
Box
He's
out
always
of it.
coming in. Sometimes from too
Stop.
far away.
Break.
Gets a
Come on,
little
let's say
top
box out of it.
falls
Box
in.
out of it.
He was cut over his right eye in the clash of heads when he won the title back in 2011.
Time. Guys, come here.
Bobby Howard's going
Get
to
off
take
his
control
neck,
here.
and you're going below his belt. Clean it up. Fight with honor, guys. Respect. Come on. Time in. Box. You get there.
Also was cut earlier in 2011 over his left eye from a clash of heads. Tried to time a right hand.
Much better.
Gonzalez now coming in.
The problem with Ramos is looking for that right hand, but he's making it crooked instead of straight. If he'd straighten it out, he'd have a little bit more success. It looks like Gonzalez understands there's maybe a little urgency starting to come now. Needs to start picking it up, and he is picking it up.
Clean, clean. Break out of it. Box, guys. Box out
See,
of
if
it.
somebody makes a choice on the inside, and believe me, it's about choices. It's not about anything else. A choice not to get tied up, not to put your hands behind the guy, not to grab, and to punch on the inside. That guy right now, whoever makes that choice, right now, that choice is Gonzalez. They're going to have a chance of taking control of this fight. Some counterpunching by Ramos. You know, he can be a little sneaky. He'll use those legs for defense.
Box, guys.
He'll
Box.
use them for
Box.
offense, too. He'll
5
step
seconds.
out a little
Don't do
bit,
it.
set a trap, make you walk in, and then he'll look to
Stop.
counter.
Stop.
22-year-old Oscar Gonzalez
That's it.
looking to get a win against the recent WBA 122-pound champion Rico Ramos. He's fought in spots tonight. He had a first-round knockdown in his last fight, but then was staggered late by a left hook and lost a close unanimous decision back in December to Raul Morales. That was disappointing. I think that he would put a more passionate effort and consistent effort forward tonight against Rico Ramos. See if he steps it up here in the second half of this 10-rounder, beginning of round 6.
Box, guys. Box out of it.
Takes 2 to tangle, takes 2 to get tied up. Right there, Gonzalez. Ramos wanted to tie up. He'd rather be on the outside, doesn't want to work on the inside. But Gonzalez allowed him to tie him up. He could have took a step, a lot of options, a lot of ways to avoid that. You can take a step back, create room. You could rotate your shoulders back, create room. You don't have to cooperate. Gonzalez has cooperated with the tie-ups.
Don't hold, don't hold, don't hold.
On the inside, way too much. Again, Gonzalez cooperating with that tie-up with Ramos.
You got to break.
Keeps cooperating, he'll be losing.
Box out of it. Let go of his arm, Rico. Let go of his arm.
If one guy decides to work on the inside, he can take control. Right now, Gonzalez decides to work on the inside. He can get a little bit of this fight back.
Let go of his arm. Stop, break. Don't lose a point on hold.
The referee's jumping in there a little too soon.
And Bobby Howard also just said, in giving a warning there, don't lose a point. Don't lose a point. So
I think Bobby Howard just needs to let them work on the inside, work out of it. You know, if it gets to a point they're not, okay, but give them a chance to work out of it. Ask the fans at home, what would they rather see? Fighters working out of it, or
clean, guys, box out of it, box out of it.
I'd rather see fighters work out of it. Like that.
Oh.
Good body shot. Good body shot.
And the former titleist
5
is down
6,
on both
good.
knees.
7, walking you strong. 8.
Talk about putting some water in his boat. I was talking about earlier. Well, that's a little water in the boat of Ramos. Let's see now, Gonzalez is a finisher. Should be going behind the jab.
Went to the body there.
Yes, he should stay on that body. He just said whoever decides to work on the inside can grab this fight. Well, Gonzalez decided to work inside and downstairs. Well, he just grabbed this fight.
So the knockdown scored by Gonzalez in the 6th.
What do we talk about in the fight plan? Exactly that. Talked about the left, right, and then come back with the hook. Exactly what he did. He threw the jab right in, came back with the left hook. See Gonzalez. Oh, we didn't catch the punch we wanted to see, but we saw the last one. The one we wanted to see was the one downstairs, but we saw it before that. It was a jab right hand, left hook back to the body.
Left hook to the body, put Rico Ramos down. Another look.
There it is.
Perfectly
There's
placed.
the one. He had thrown the jab in right hand first, then he came back with that left hook to the liver area, and that hurts. That stays with you, and that makes you sometimes crumble. Made Ramos crumble. Exactly what we were talking about in that fight plan.
Rigondeaux was able to knock him out back in January of 2012 to take a 122-pound title. And it was Oscar Gonzalez who was staggered late last time out and losing a disappointing decision.
There's a little head class. I talked about head classes or a possibility with Ramos.
Off his neck, off his neck. Break. Okay, you're coming in low with your head, and you got to push. Get away, don't push down.
If Gonzalez's people didn't say go out there behind the jab and make believe he doesn't have a head, he being Ramos, and attack that body. And so far, I haven't seen a body shot.
That's right. After all that success and having him down on his knees at the end of 6.
I mean, how do you not go to the body? You just dropped him to the body.
You got to quit right in his neck. Slide away, box.
That's not the way to do it, reaching in.
Reaching in with a right hand.
That's the way to do it, using the jab to set it up.
Just wildly with that left hook.
And again, now Ramos is in
survival
mode.
Step back, guys.
Using his legs, looking to pot shot a little bit, and then looking to grab if you get close to him. It's up to Ramos. Right now.
Oh, there's that left hand to the body, Teddy.
Yeah, it's really up to Gonzalez now to keep the flow going, Joe. Not get tied up. Do that. Move your legs a little bit. Keep a little room. Keep that offense going. And that's what he's doing. Doing a nice job.
And in the midst of all that, he did place another body shot as Ramos is trying to just touch him on the inside and fight back to that belt line of Gonzalez. And now he ties up in the center of the ring.
That's not what you want to see if you're back at Gonzalez. You got the edge on the inside. Keep it. Don't allow him to tie you up. Take a step back like you were doing earlier. Create room and keep that attack going. Right now, two different mentalities. Ramos wants to smother Gonzalez inside like he's doing right there. And Gonzalez wants to keep those hands moving. Keep just a little room so he can keep doing damage. That's not a little room, by the way. Gonzalez allowed Ramos to smother him. Again, missed opportunity. Ramos doesn't want to work inside. Gonzalez needs to find the way to work continually on the inside. We'll go another round in the bank for Gonzalez.
Don't hold that.
Just wonder, and you always do worry about judges.
Break. 5 seconds. Keep it clean.
Take a look at the action from the last round. Talk about body work. Well, Gonzalez is letting those hands go to the body and keeping enough room, using his legs very well to keep enough distance where he didn't get smothered and he could keep that offensive flow working.
Opened up with a right hand there, just a glancing blow to the top of the head.
Ramos looks desperate. Looks like a guy trying to survive and trying to land at the same time. A haymaker.
He was hurt in the final moments of the 6th round. It was a left hand to the body that scored the knockdown for Gonzalez, and now he doubled up a right hand, went down low, and then up top, short chopping right hand. Let's look at Teddy's scorecard. Through 7, 10-8, 6 rounds, 67-65 for Gonzalez. The fans at home scoring along on Facebook say Ramos 4 rounds to 3.
Come on, fans. Come on, get yourselves together. I know it's late. Come on, get yourselves together. Don't think that should be the score, especially after a 10-8 round.
Keep in mind the fans are going by a percentage, so you don't see a 10-8 round marked down with the fans, so that would even things out on the fans scorecard. Of course, we'll list this as an upset alert, as Ramos, the more experienced fighter, has been in against better competition, and he held a world title at 122 pounds.
Let go of the arm.
What I'm seeing, the body language I'm looking at from Ramos is that he's trying to survive this round. He's trying to land the Hail Mary. Trying to sneak a big shot in, catch Gonzalez like he did there. Trying to catch him. Just walking in a little reckless. When you have that kind of body language, that kind of mentality that I think Ramos has right now, you're getting desperate.
Stop! Break!
And if you have a bad round, well, you start to spiral more and more downwards because you're getting desperate, you're giving up a little bit of hope. You're getting into that place by just trying to survive like he's doing right now with his legs, where you're basically saying, I hope I can pull this out. And if your rival, Gonzalez, recognizes the way I think I recognize it, and he puts the foot to the gas pedal a little bit and pushes you, well, he gets you real close to the cliff. Real close to the cliff. Because the next round, you'll be even more discouraged. So it's up to Gonzalez to read that right now. And if he does, I think you're going to see Ramos really start to spiral downward.
So CompuBox with that clear-cut edge for Gonzalez here. Come to the end of round number 8. We'll have 6 minutes to go in our main event.
Stop!
ESPN Friday Night Fights is presented by Corona Extra, proud sponsor of Friday Night Fights, and as always encourages you to relax responsibly. And in part by Just for Men Mustache and Beard, champions of facial hair. Action from earlier tonight. We saw Ray Lampkin Jr. move his mark to 3-0, and we moved onward to our main event where Oscar Gonzalez may be in position to get himself a decent win here against Rico Ramos, a recent titleist. In the 6th round, Gonzalez scored a knockdown with a left hook to the body.
I think this could be a big round. I'm not saying it will be. Could be a big round for Gonzalez if he puts the pressure on behind the jab and doesn't get smothered. Big round for him because I see the mentality.
No, don't grab. Box. Break.
It's on the edge.
Don't grab. Come on, man.
On the edge of the cliff. On the edge of going off the cliff or walking forward from the cliff. So two in the hands, I think, of Gonzalez.
Box out. Let go. Box out. Break.
See, that's a little spot there where Ramos fell in. You know, look at him grab him. And Gonzalez let him grab him. That's where Gonzalez needs to take a little step back, anticipate it, see it, read it, recognize it. Take a little step back, create room, and punch. Let him walk into punches. Even there, catch Ramos as he comes in. You can see him coming. As he comes in, that is where Ramos or Gonzalez should do that with his hands. If he does that, it'll be a big round for him. He's got a minute and a half to do it.
Step back, guys. Take 2 of your hold. Come on.
Look at what these judges are doing right now. We're looking at the fighters doing okay.
I think we need to talk about that. We'll do so at the end of this round.
Step back, guys. Step back. Take a step back.
A similar situation last week on Friday Night Fights, where fortunately a fighter that had every appearance, much like Gonzalez, of being in position to pull off the upset, well, he took it into his own hands. Rustam Nagaev.
There you go.
Just finished things off against the highly hyped Jonathan Marcelo.
Box out of it. Let go of the arm. Let go of the arm.
See, I think this is Gonzalez's fight to win and Gonzalez's fight to lose. If Gonzalez doesn't use that jab, doesn't punch on the inside, like now, well, he can blow the fight. He can lose it. But I think it's there for him to win. He's allowing Ramos to survive and to play a game with him right now. You know, that game the cat plays with the mouse.
Step back.
You know, a little pitter-patter here, a little move here. Move around a little bit, come back in. He's allowing right now Ramos to get away with that chicanery. And he shouldn't be allowing him to do that.
End of 9, 1 to go. We'll see if Gonzalez can stay the course here, pull this out. Last week there was some concern. Nagaev against Marcelo. Nagaev ends up winning by KO, and then you did the right thing. You said, you know what, I want to see those official scores. And don't you know it was Marcelo who had it 67-66 at the time of the knockout on 2 of the cards. It was the other way in favor of Nagaev on the other.
You know, when you get I know you don't smoke, I don't smoke, but you get a pack of cigarettes, there's a warning on the label. Surgeon General says that this could be hazardous to your health. I'm ready to start saying that these judges that are out there should be a warning label. Really, I've had enough. I'm fed up. They could be hazardous to the career and health of a fighter. I mean, that wasn't the worst decision going that way, but it was going the wrong way. Who knows how it would have went if Nagaev didn't release his own 2 judges to make sure it didn't go to the judges' scorecard. Nagaev was taking control of that fight, starting to dominate, starting to domino and really put the pressure and break down Marcelo, which he did eventually.
With honor, guys,
and
with respect.
at the time of the stoppage, 2 of the 3 judges, who they have ahead? They had Marcelo ahead. I had at that point Nagaev ahead by 3 rounds. Now, I'm not saying you have to have it the same, but I'm just saying there's a concern about that kind of judging over and over, hurting fighters' careers. We need to find a way to solve it, to look at these judges, to judge these judges, to control these judges, hold these judges accountable, get a better job from these judges.
Ramos landed a couple of good left hands here in the opening moments of round number 10. Now Gonzalez stepping up, applying some pressure as Ramos, as he continuously has, was holding for a moment there. Remember, he was down in round number 6 of our main event. It was a body shot that had him hurt.
Break. You got to quit holding, okay? Talk. Quit holding.
Gonzalez now caught again by Ramos as he took a step forward.
See, that's because he's stepping forward without a jab.
And he was exposed.
Box out of it. Box out of it.
You need to put bugs on the windshield of your opponent when you're coming forward, so your opponent does not see you coming forward. He can't pot shot you coming forward. Come behind that jab, and then that doesn't happen. You stabilize the guy who's moving, and that guy would be
Don't hold, Rico, box out of it. Box out of it. Break. You box out of that, man.
But what do you like in this fight? Do you like aggression? Do you like body work? Do you like more significant punches? If you do, then you have to be looking at Gonzalez.
Don't look away.
In a good amount of these rounds anyway. There are some rounds that Ramos grabbed early and some that he may be stealing late. That's what it's going to come down to.
And of course,
it looks to me like Ramos barely hanging on. Like if Gonzalez put together any kind of, even now with 45 seconds left, any kind of sustained attack to the body, not getting tied up in his inside, doing what he's doing now, it seems like Ramos will wilt right in front of us.
CompuBox favors Gonzalez. He's got the lone 10-8 round mark down on the ledger here. And now the infighting between these two.
Now that's pretty good work by Gonzalez. You'd have to say that you favor Gonzalez in that exchange. Now what's he going to do in the last 15 seconds? Is he going to allow himself to be tied up, or is he going to bring it home?
Let go of his arm. Let go of his arm.
The entertaining final minute of the final round. We will take a break and come back and hear from the judges at the Little Creek Casino. Todd, I thank you for the TMZ report on Victor Ortiz. We were all wondering what was going on his social calendar. Let's wrap things up here between Oscar Gonzalez and Rico Ramos. Teddy says the upset's there, 96-93. You put that 10-8 round on the 6th round with the body shot knockdown. The fans at home, 6 rounds to 4 for Gonzalez. Let's hear what the ringside judges have to say about that. For there, we go up to Barry Egan.
What a great main event, Shelton. Let's hear it for these two valiant warriors. To the scorecards we go. Judge Alan Krebs scores the bout 98-91.
Wow.
Judge Joel Scobie scores the bout 96-93. And Judge Glenn Hamada scores the bout 97-93 for the winner. By unanimous decision, out of Tepic, Nayarit, Mexico, Oscar Gonzalez.
Right guy won the fight, Teddy. 98-91 was a unique score, but they got it right as Oscar Gonzalez gets a well-earned win against the former WBA Super Bantamweight titleist. We'll see you next week from Atlantic City. Baseball tonight is next. Enjoy the rest of your evening.